Hi, a very good day to all. My name is Shaarmila and I'm from Jayaseelan, metric number 270028. Today I am here to present about the process involved in construction technology. There will be 5 key elements I will be presenting in this video, which is project lifecycle, activities involved during construction project, key players, project planning and control, a successful construction. First, we look into project lifecycle. What is project lifecycle? It is a path of project that takes from the beginning to end, which involves 5 stages, starting with initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, closure. What is initiation? It is a visualization of what we want to accomplish. Define the project and list down the possible solution to specific needs. In this phase, the idea of the project is elaborated and explored. The project manager will examine the feasibility of the project. Recommended solution is identified. After the project get green signal, the project manager will create a project initiation document, which is PID. They will align with strategic objectives to attain. Second is planning stage. Identify the scope of the work and develops a roadmap. This construction project must use SMART. What is SMART? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. This planning phase will manage time, cost, quality, changes, and assessment of risk. After this planning stage, there will be execution. What is execution? A project planning to action. In this stage, they will ensure the budget estimated in the planning phase is followed. There will be record for any variation happen in the execution stage. Monitoring and controlling. After the execution phase, there will be monitoring and controlling. The project that is undertaken is within the scope that is defined at the planning stage. Compare actual performance with the planned performance. If there is any problem or any changes, take corrective actions. Last is closing. Project is formally closed. That means a construction is done. A report is produced to the project client, handling over documentation, informing stakeholders of the closure of the project. Now, we will be moved to activities involved during construction project. There are a lot of activities starting with marking and grading. What is marking? It is a first construction activity. Grading ensures that the buildings last long. It uses big machines to ensure the appropriate angle of a building or structure that is supposed to be. Second is excavation. Involves moving rocks out of a certain area to prepare for construction. In simple word, it is a basement excavation. Prepare basement to be built. Next is concreting. Concreting is major activity in construction. This is used for construction of buildings, roads and bridges. Carpentry. What is carpentry? Describe individual working with woods. General cutting and installation of materials in construction project for the construction of a structure or building. Brick masonry. What is it? Has been in construction for decades. Laying each brick on top of the other to go along the entire wall. The construction project starts with this. Then plumbing. Plumbing putting in pipes for the water flow to ensure they will function properly. Then will be welding. What is welding? Welding to bind materials for structural processes. It, it has different types of welding for different types of metal. Next is electrical. Working as electrician on a construction site, They will ensure the structure have access from the transformer to provide by the electrical company. They will ensure there's a electric to the building or structure they construct. Then glazing. Glazing, anything to do with glass windows. In this stage, they will install a glass in the construction of a building or a house or a structure. Then roof laying, ensure protection of the house or a building from the elements and have stability. Different method used for different constructions and different structures. Example, metal or steel roofs. Last is finishing, means putting the final touches of a structure or a building to be used. There will be a final aesthetic touches about safety and function. Now we will move into key players. Key players are the most important person in the organization, which means they are most important in every action of the construction project. First is construction manager. Obviously, manager creates schedules for a project and he or she organizes the responsibility to supervise and ensure the safety of workers. The safety of workers is more important. Second is client. Client is defined as an entity or individual or organization commissioning and funding the project directly or indirectly. They define the project requirements. Third is contractor. Contractor carry out and manage construction works. Contractor can be defined as two, main contractor and subcontractor. They must ensure the project follows every ethic and laws. Architect. Who is architect? They design and project and known as a project planner, responsible for the visual appearance of building and structures. Idea it for a house or for an office work building. Let's see a video.
In Singapore, every building you see is the product of hard work by professionals in the architectural, engineering and construction industries. Modern buildings tell the story of Singapore's development, charting its transformation from the slums and squatters of yesteryears to the vibrant cosmopolitan city-state that we see today. The construction industry not only creates jobs and drives economic activity, it also makes Singapore one of the best quality and most sustainable cities in the world to work and live in. The growth of this industry is supported by dynamic, innovative and passionate professionals who take on challenging tasks and responsibilities in bringing about the best built environment for our people, as well as delivering green buildings that preserve the environment. But the jobs are also incredibly fulfilling. The architect is the grand designer who creates the form or body of the building. A building usually begins with an idea or a concept in the architect's mind, but the architect doesn't just design. She is the one who transforms the specifications from the developer into a working blueprint. She makes sure that the building complies with the regulatory and technical requirements, while keeping in mind the primary considerations of materials, functionality, aesthetics, and the environmental impact. But the architect cannot work alone. She needs to work with others to translate her master blueprint into a physical building. The civil and structural engineer is the math and science whiz that produces the structural designs, setting the bones and joints to form the body of a building. A C&S engineer needs to decide how to build a solid frame and determine the location and size of every beam and column in a building. He also has to make efficient use of materials to construct the building in an environmentally sustainable manner. In other words, a C&S engineer is responsible for creating a practical and safe structure that can withstand anything the weather might bring. the wind, the sun, the rain, and the temperature changes. While a CNS engineer is a structure specialist that sets the bones, our M&E engineer is the expert responsible for connecting the breathing, habitable place. Our M&E engineer is the person that takes care of that, making sure of the efficient use of energy and water and quality indoor living. For every project, there must be someone to take care of the money issues. The quantity surveyor is the one that manages the costs of a building project, from the initial calculations to the final figures. She must be skilled in the balancing act, analysing the numbers, assessing the risks, and preparing the tenders and contracts. That's a critical role, consolidating all the information and numbers to come up with the tender specifications and contracts. All these while ensuring that everything meets the required standards and quality. As the actual construction starts, someone has to ensure the smooth running of the project. The project manager's work revolves around what begins, organising the resources to turn plans for a new building into reality. That means planning the time frame for all the necessary tasks, getting the project started from the initial stage of drafting to the final coat of paint, and to ensure that a project gets completed on time and within budget. So the building is completed, the people have moved in, and the work is done. Or is it? Buildings are built to last for many years, some surviving several generations. But proper maintenance is necessary. The facility manager is like a doctor who performs regular health checks on buildings to ensure they are well maintained and in tip-top condition. Comes up with ways to continually improve a building's amenities and services. That's to make certain that a building stays healthy and its occupants happy. These 6 professions form the core of a typical team in the construction and building industry. Together with many other unsung heroes, they are responsible for building the roofs over our heads. All this while taking care to preserve our environment and resources for our future generations. As the industry continues to grow, there are plenty of opportunities available for all talented and creative young people to join the sector and be satisfied with a career that makes a difference. Together, let's build a green future.
Hope you all have a basic understanding about who is the key players of the construction project and how does the construction project works. Now we move into project planning and control. Planning is the second phase that defines scope of the construction project. It also has several techniques that used for construction projects, such as work breakdown structure. A work breakdown structure reduces complexity by breaking down the work for the workers. And PERT charts puts the task into sequence to establish what has to be completed. Gantt charts are horizontal bar charts which each bar is representing the duration of a project, which means marking and grading should be finished in this duration. Glazing should be finished in this duration. So these Gantt charts are helpful to represent the duration of a project. These are the examples of work breakdown structure, PERT charts, and Gantt charts. Control, monitoring and control. Control can be in many ways. The most important is cost control because it involves about money. They should be necessary to keep a record of monitoring expenditure such as minimize the cost. Uh, Distribute the total cost to the task and establish reporting procedure to track cost. As I'm mentioning to track cost, why is it important to track cost? Because we can identify if any problems happen or cost waste. Second is schedule control. Schedule is important to establish the overall schedule and specify when particular tasks must be completed. Same as I told before, marking and grading can be in 2 weeks. Yes, the particular task must be completed in 2 weeks. That's why schedule control is most important. And quality control, as we all know, in anything or any construction or any project, there must be high quality. This quality control helps to identify the level of quality needed to ensure the purchase order specify the quality. Like if we order brick or something for the construction project, there should be high quality. So this quality control can actually ensure the purchase orders. So we can examine the finished product to make sure receive what you ordered. After all the project construction have done, we can examine the finished product to make sure what we have accomplished as we planned. Last key element is a successful construction. As you all know, a successful construction must be in high quality and fulfill the aligned objective in the initiation phase. The successful construction must be completed on time. That's why they are Gantt charts and schedule control to be so that the construction project can complete it on time within the budget allocated. The budget allocated at planning phase. Creation of value. If we create, there must be something value. So as the construction project, there must be value. The value relating to the both operation of the building means to the project, to the project manager, to the architecture, to the contractor, and its effect on the third parties. The third parties, the one using the building or structure, creates intangible benefits as well. Every construction must be benefit as well as it serves to the community. So that's all from me. The process involved in the construction project. Thank you.